Hey everybody, Logan here. This isn't something I usually do when it comes to new controllers, especially after I review them, but I always tell you that I do run it for about a week after I test it, so if people ask me any questions, I can say, alright, this is how it works in the so-called long run, right? But I get new controllers and then I have to keep doing that and over and over and over, so it's not like I can really go hardcore and say I'm daily driving a specific controller for more than a week. Till now. I recently bought the new version of the Wolverine V3, this time the Tournament Edition, the white. When the black one originally came out, I bought the wireless one. Had issues with it. It was $200 and the shoulder buttons, the claw buttons, wouldn't hold a map. So I ended up returning it and that was it. I just let it be and said, alright, c'est la vie. Then they announced the new white ones, and I was like, okay, I actually like the white one better because just the black one where everything was black, it looked blah. I was hoping there would be some kind of color to it, or maybe lights or something. They didn't do that. But when they came out with this one, I'm like, all right, this is the wired one, the Tournament Edition. Wired means lower latency. And it's a new model, if you will, so there's got to be some updates. So I went to the local Razer store in Orlando. They told me software updates, and it is technically a newer version, so I shouldn't have any of those issues. So I said, all right, picked up the wired one, and well, I'm gonna update you. I've been having some issues. Nothing terrible, but there's been some issues, and I felt like it's enough for me to make a follow-up video and just warn you about it. As of recording, it's been 12 days since I purchased it, so it's been about 2 weeks, a little less. So let me show you a couple of things and get into the problems I've been having with this controller, but I'm also going to talk about the things that I've loved. So let's get into it. As you can see, the TE is a wired one, and I will disconnect it because it is connected to the console as we speak. So I am going to unplug the wire just so I can give you a better idea of the controller in a more movement 360 fashion. So if you just look at the controller, it seems to be fine. First things first, I've been treating this thing like a baby, and for some reason, I should have expected this, but I've not had this problem with any other controllers that are white, like the Hyperkin Duchess, for example, or any of the official first-party Xbox Series XS controllers, or even the DualSense controller. I've not had this issue, but look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that. I've tried to clean that off. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it got there, and this cannot be wiped off. I haven't dropped it, haven't anything, but there's a big scuff. Well, to me, that's enough to be an eyesore, and it bothers me. And it's not like something I've tried to clean it off, you name it, and it just won't go away. And I don't know if it's a scuff or a nick, but I haven't dropped it. It's been on this table whenever I'm not using it. I lay it down, or it's sitting next to me on the couch, and this couch is big enough that it doesn't move, and that's usually for a moment or two while I get up and go use a restroom or something like that, and then I pick it back up. But when I'm done, it usually sits on this table. So that's one thing that's kind of bothered me. Another thing, I don't know how well it comes across in this video or on camera. You couldn't see it on the previous model because it was all black, but this faceplate area, there's a gap here where it looks like you would have a RGB lighting here in maybe other models, but there's a big gap in some areas where you can see right into it. You can actually see the dark coming out, and I'm worried about dust or anything getting up in there. That really irks me. You can really see it right around here the most, but outside of the camera, you can also see it right around here. That bothers me. It's not terrible, but it made me think about future usage. Is dust going to get in there? Am I going to have to take this apart to clean it? is it going to have any effect on the Hall Effect sticks? So yeah. Another thing is, I did not realize how sensitive these buttons are back here. Like, I breathe on them and they press them. Not so much the bottom two, but these top two, I find myself accidentally pressing quite a bit, and I have to disable them because even in more intense shooters, sometimes people twitch, and it happens. And just a slight movement or repositioning my hand on the controller for comfort, I catch myself pressing it, and it becomes a very big annoyance. So that's going to be something that I definitely warn people about. Now, as far as the trigger locks go, they've been fine. I've been using the trigger locks and not the regular ones. I really like the trigger locks on here. Now, I mapped the shoulder buttons for the new claw buttons, and I realized I haven't been using them. I put very important functions there, and again, I realize I'm not using it. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just because I'm not used to the claw buttons. I tried to get myself to use them, but I'm just not. But that's a me thing. It's not like an issue with the build or anything itself. The fact that this is going to get very scuffed up very easily has really bothered me. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing to keep that from happening in the future, as well as the gaps in the framework to keep dust from getting in there. Now, when it comes to the sensitivity of these back flappy paddles, there's really nothing I can do besides unmap them. And that's a shame, because for the games I was playing, those were coming in handy, but it looks like I'm going back to not using them. I still love the D-pad and the face buttons, and in all honesty, they're not as loud as I thought they would be. When I'm doing a video and I'm focusing on them, they sound much louder. There are other controllers that I've used that they are very loud and distracting during gameplay. These are not. I haven't noticed it. And what I've been doing is testing this on not just current gen games, but because I have it on an Xbox, I'm playing Xbox 360 and original Xbox games, going back and playing those with this controller, and it's great. I just have those issues about build quality, and I'm worried about longevity when it comes to stuff like that. So what did I do? I went to Amazon, bought a sleeve. Now, they had these in blue and black. Pretty simple. They were very inexpensive. I think it was less than $10. But I got this, and this fits any version of the Wolverine V3. You can see the top is open, and then you have that for the back. So if you're using the Pro or the TE, it fits right in. So you just got to get it on right. Those that have the open tops, they don't always fit as snug as some of the ones that have a full body, so you got to get them on just right and move them around and scooch them. So with that being on, I don't have to worry about dust getting in the gaps, and I also don't have to worry about anything getting scuffed up. So it's just a soft silicone sleeve. So you've got a grip on the back here, and then you have a different style grip on the front. Is it annoying? No, but I'm not used to this type of grip on this controller, so it's just something I'm getting used to. But otherwise, I still have the issue in the back with twitching and lightly pressing that. I'll get used to it, or like I said, I will just unmap it. It doesn't bother when it comes to pressing any of the buttons. It doesn't interfere with me pressing any of the buttons. The only thing I've noticed is this covers up the Xbox button slight bit. Now, these were the only ones I could find on Amazon. I'm hoping that maybe in the future we'll get different ones, but these are ones that are currently out there. There's a black and a blue, like I said. If you search for it, this is the only one that'll pop up. So if you guys are looking for that. So it's a deep blue. I was hoping for maybe a brighter blue or a brighter red, but I was okay with it. I didn't want the black because, well, that's the whole reason I bought the white controller. but this kind of covers that up anyway, but you can still see the white here and there. I was hoping that the white controller wasn't going to get as dirty or get scuffed out of nowhere, like say a Series XS white controller does not. I've had one that's been my go-to since I bought that all digital Series X and my older 1S, and neither of those have any scuffs or scratches or dings or any discoloration, and this one did right away. So that bothered me about this, and it being a $100 controller, which means the $200 one might have the same issue, but at least the $200 one has the case, so I would recommend putting the controller in the case as soon as you're done to keep it from happening. So, but now that that's all done and said and out of the way, you can just plug it back in. There you go. Now I will continue daily driving this controller until something else comes along, which I can already tell you is going to be very, very soon. I will be testing out a couple of other Xbox offerings in the next few days. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, stay tuned, see if those controllers are of any interest to you, along with all my other videos. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully this helped let you know a couple things here and there. God bless you all. Hit that subscribe button. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.